I think what's interesting is that there is a difference that we're seeing between the top-down view and the bottom-up view. Top-down, we're seeing a ton of daily volatility, market by market. I mean, there is not a week without a headline that causes some market to fall double digits internationally, or that causes some subsector, whether it's mining stocks or luxury goods stocks, pharma companies, moving up plus minus 5, 10%. And we're not just talking about like Mexico or Bolivia, some of the smaller emerging frontier markets. We're talking about big developed markets. We've seen big moves this year in China, in France. We saw a big sell-off in Japan in Q3, in India right after the elections in June, and then the most recent one, South Korea, both the market and the currency down big just last week. The reasons are obvious. We've seen major political change with elections in many markets. We have ongoing wars, a regime collapse in the Middle East just this weekend. And then the big elephant in the room is China. The world is, I would say, struggling to digest the China model. We've always known that China has had a lopsided economy, totally dependent on investments and exports. Now, as exports slow down and investments slow down, the Chinese consumer is not going to be able to pick up the slack and support that economy, right? And it looks like Chinese leadership has come to that conclusion and are simply going to keep pushing cheap products everywhere they can. Now, that's not an easy thing for the world to digest. It impacts economies, it impacts jobs, social structures everywhere. So not really a surprise that globally we're seeing all this volatility. So that's sort of a flavor of the top down, and I'm sure we'll talk more about this. But the bottom up view is very different. And despite all of what we're seeing in the top down, we're able to find interesting businesses that are not directly in the line of fire of some of these big macro concerns. And that's allowing us to build a portfolio of very differentiated stocks. In fact, just in the last quarter, we've added 5 new ideas to the portfolio. And I'd say the most interesting thing is that there's no common theme across them. These are all individual, unique businesses, different sectors, different geographies. So if you just run through our buy list, right, what have we bought so far? A global insurance brokerage business, a McDonald's franchisor in Latin America, a French company that does wastewater energy management, an asset management platform in Europe, and the Mexican stock exchange operator. Each one very unlike the other. See, for us, this divergence between the volatility you're seeing top down, but good business prospects that you're seeing when you look bottom up, that's what makes this interesting. It's a great time to be a stock picker in these international markets.